I might have been wrong in my first impression when I called her mid.
Fuck, I'm a gangsta. Yeah. Come on.
The sexy vice captain of the 10th Division who turns her sword into ash and races freely across the battlefield. Rangiku Matsumoto. She is a 3-star ease of use character. Not surprisingly, after seeing the trailer, her speed is pretty high. The quick attack that they showed us at the beginning of the trailer, you can see how speedy she actually is. She's very good range as well, pretty much a zoning type of range. Average toughness, average special skills, and pretty much average, a little bit above average in attack strength. The first thing that they show us is her unique skill, Breaking the Path 31, Red Fire Cannon. It fires a red cannon that moves forward at a slow speed. If it hits, it can be followed up with a follow attack. It's simple, but has a wide range of uses. It's unfortunate that they didn't show us what they mean when they say follow-up attack here, because in the trailer, she just doesn't follow it up with anything. So my question is it a follow-up attack in the sense that the hit stun is so thick that you can just continue a combo? You can chase them down if you're at a longer distance and continue a combo afterwards? Or is it like, if you hit, it's an explosion, there's an AoE, or if it hits, you can teleport in front of or behind the enemy to continue the attack? I don't know. I also am a little upset we didn't get to see how far it can go. Can you throw this out, run out in front of it, do a little bit of a combo, and then flash step or something backwards, let your opponent get hit, go back in and just start a whole new combo? You know what I mean? Like, can you set up chains like that with this ability? And if you can, I can understand why she's a 3-star ease of use character, because that's a lot of noggin you're using there, just setting up one move, one unique skill. The next thing they show us is her spiritual pressure technique 1. It's slow. If attacked while in stance, this is a counter technique in which she gets behind the opponent and blows them away with a red fire cannon, which is what her unique skill is. This allows Rangiku, who excels in mid-range combat, to take advantage of this technique. I don't know what they mean when they say take advantage of this technique, but what it seems like is when you pop up behind them and you hit them with that fireball, you're able to follow up in a way that benefits her preferred range to fight. That's how it seems to me. Other than that, it's just like a typical, no, it's not even a typical counter, because you do pop up behind them, which may be harder to defend. Does this work against projectiles as well? Normally they say if it has the ability to work against projectiles, but if this does work against long range moves and she just pops up behind you and you can't throw out your zoning techniques, she might actually be a top tier character, and I might have been wrong in my first impression when I called her mid. Next, they show us her Hado number 33, Blue Fire Fall, strikes both palms up and down and fires a blue flame. Its range and speed are weak, but its damage is high. This is not something you can just throw out. It doesn't even actually have travel distance. What it looks like is there's a certain distance in front of you and there's an AoE that happens, just a general small explosion. If they manage to get caught in that with how slow it is and how close you have to be for it to happen, it's going to do a lot of damage. I'm thinking possibly when you use your counter and you follow up with that red fire cannon, that might put you at the exact situation and distance that you need to be to combo into her spiritual pressure technique 2, but we have no way of knowing until we get our hands on the game or see some gameplay, some more actual gameplay with Rangiku. Then they show us her awakening, Shikai Hinako. By releasing her Shikai Hinako, some of her actions change. Using her unique technique, Hinako Development, she is able to use a unique fighting style that allows her to control her opponent's movements. One thing that we do know for sure, unique technique sounds to me like it changes her unique skill from this red fire cannon into the Hinako Development. I don't know what they mean when they say control her opponent's movements. I genuinely don't know. I don't know if that's something like you just hold them in place so you can chase them down and use your stronger attacks more, or I genuinely have no idea. It can mean so many different things, and I'm interested to see if Her spiritual pressure techniques change as well when she goes into her awakening. The youngest captain in history of the 10th Division, wielding the strongest ice-based Zanbakuto and continuing to take the lead with his frozen blade. Toshiro Hitsugaya. He is a 4-star ease of use character, and I wonder if he's an easier character to use because he's stronger, so it's just a better experience, or if it's because he's more straightforward and there's not as much nuance in the way that he has to fight. I wonder what they actually rank that ease of use off of. He is a very strong fighter, has decent special skills, very above decent, has very decent durability, extremely good range, and he is not that fast. So overall, if you don't look at speed, he is a very, very strong character. His unique skill, Icicle Piercing, they don't show us in the trailer outright, but they do show us this unique skill while they show off the Heavenly Phase gauge. His unique skill, Icicle Piercing, is an attack that creates icicles at the opponent's feet. By holding down the button for a long time, you can charge up power and extend the range. When we look at the Heavenly Phase gauge, we can see that there are icicles popping up at the opponent's feet. So I am assuming that that's the attack that he's pulling off. I don't know how fast this attack will be when you just do it outright. It sounds like you can hold it down for a very decent time. Who knows how long a long time is? Maybe like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe indefinitely, and then it's just a full charge and you can let go whenever you want. It sounds like if you do charge it up all the way, it'll possibly be full screen. Now, my question is, when you charge this move, depending on how far your opponent is, do you have to gauge that? So does it track them too, or do you have to actually gauge the distance every single time? So like, say you're charging up the move and then they come in closer with some type of flash step. When you let go of the move, does it realize that they're closer and then just track, or does it just pop out further away regardless? That is going to be something we will have to see with some more gameplay. But it does look like he has, I can see why his range is as high as it is. His unique specification, Heavenly Phase gauge. If you keep landing attacks and fill up the gauge, you will enter the Tensojuren state, and some of your techniques will be significantly strengthened. And those are the attacks that use his ice abilities. If you don't land an attack for a certain amount of time, or if you are hit by an attack from your opponent, the gauge will decrease. So what this sounds like to me is the gauge starts off at 0, and you have to build the gauge up as battle goes on, leading him to be a very, very snowball end of match heavy character. They show us in the trailer his gauge at level 3, so I'm assuming that's where it maxes out, is at level 3, and the attacks that it'll boost is your unique skill, and then his spiritual pressure technique 1 and 2, and then maybe even the auto combo attacks when you go into your awakening. Definitely his unique skill and then spiritual pressure technique 1 and 2 for sure. When they say significantly strengthened, I'm assuming they literally just mean the amount of damage they do, but I'm hoping they mean the amount of damage, how fast they come out, the effects of the moves, if they have any secondary effects. I hope they mean all of that. The first technique that they show us is his Frost Heaven ice attack, his spiritual pressure technique 1. It attacks by raining ice blocks down on the opponent's head. Since it can attack instantly even at long distances, it can catch the opponent without missing an opening. When they say without missing an opening, does that mean that when you see your opponent with an attack or charging or whatever going into a step, I don't know, whatever they consider an opening to be, are you able to just press this button and then it hits and then you can follow up with another attack? Or are they just saying that he has the ability to get that cheeky little poke damage in wherever he is on the field whenever he can? I'm assuming it's more the latter, where he can just get that cheeky little poke damage with this type of move, but We shall see when we get more gameplay. The next thing they show us is his Spiritual Pressure Technique 2, Ice Dragon Renbu, attacks by charging the Ice Dragon forward. The Ice Dragon has excellent range and charging speed, making it easy to hit an opening in the opponent's attacks. Opponent's actions. They use that verbiage there again. So is he are these moves like DPs and they disrupt an actual combo? Or are they just saying that he is very good at seeing the small gaps in somebody's attack strings and executing and being able to attack within there? I do think that because he freezes you in place for such a long time with this Ice Dragon Renbu, before you can't move until he gets to the point where he's actually throwing the attack out. You are going to have a very hard time dodging this at close range, and I'm wondering how far that actually goes. As thick as it is and as big as the Ice Dragon is, it looks like it'll probably go full screen. And then lastly, they show us his awakening, his Bankai, Daigyoren Hyorinmaru. By unleashing his Bankai, Daigyoren Hyorinmaru, his abilities are strengthened. The rate at which the Tensojouren gauge builds up increases, further improving his ability to push through opponents. I think it's kind of funny that it's only his Tensojouren gauge buildup that increases, so he doesn't get an increase to his EX meter buildup, which is what you need to use his Spiritual Pressure Technique 1 and 2. It's just gonna be easier for him to build up the meter that makes his EX attack stronger, and his unique skill too. And I'm wondering if the change in attacks that we see with his Bankai being active, if any of those attacks also take advantage of the Tensojouren gauge, because some of the attacks look like they have some ice animation to them, even in his auto attack in the very beginning that they showed us. So I'm wondering if it's going to be relegated to just his Spiritual Pressure techniques and his unique skill, or if it's anything that he uses where ice comes out. Let me know what you guys think though, and let me know what you guys think about Rangiku and the other characters we have. If you have any theories, who you guys think the next character to come out will be, definitely leave a comment below. If you guys like that one, leave a like and subscribe as well. It's been real. It's your boy, Lee the Warlord, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.